Good morning, class. My name is Specialist Reese, and today we will be going over task number 071, Charlie Oscar Mike 0815, how to practice noise, light, and litter discipline. Before we get into our class, we're going to go over some administrative tasks. The risk assessment for this training is low. We are conducting our training indoors, so please be aware of the wires, cables, any random baby toys, as they are a tripping hazard. If possible, just move them out of the way or step over them to avoid anything that cannot be moved. Also be aware of the random water puddles on the floor. There are animals in this house. They tend to not clean up after themselves, so please just avoid that at all possible in case of a slipping accident. If there are any uncovered outlets, please be mindful of them. Most of them should be covered to reduce the chance of electrocution. We are still exercising our social distancing, so please wear your mask if you cannot maintain your 6-foot safe distance to avoid contact or exposure. There is a pot of coffee in the kitchen, which is to my left, your right. It is still hot. I need my caffeine for the day, so please be mindful of the hot surfaces, and we're going to avoid burning ourselves. So the glass and the actual pot itself, please just be very careful of that. In the instance of a fire, we are going to exit the building either right behind you through the door or behind me towards the front. We will take accountability towards the front of the house in the street. Once everybody has exited, hopefully everybody does. If not, then hopefully that doesn't come to it. Anyways, sorry about that. Additionally, so our environmental considerations, we are Green Army, so any plastic, please reduce, reuse, recycle, and any trash, just make sure you pick up after this session. I try to keep it clean in here, but help me out and take care of your own trash. Also, if there happens to be a burglar or an active shooter, we are going to first run. If we can't run, then we're going to hide, and if it has to come to it, then we will fight to the last minute. Okay, so our initial PCIs, we're gonna just knock it out real quick. So please take out the following: your canteen cup, pen, headlamp or lamp with a red lens if you have it, your tape, your paper, something to write with, your poncho, and your dog tags. So let's get that out, and I will quick take an accountability of everybody. This is also be the sign-in roster, so now that we got all of that out of the way, let's get into the class. Again, this is task number 071, Charlie Oscar Mike 0815, practice noise, light, and litter discipline. The conditions: you are a member of a mounted or dismounted element conducting a tactical mission and have been directed to comply with noise, light, and litter discipline. Enemy elements are in your area of operation. Some iterations of this task should be performed in MOP 4. The standards: prevent enemy from locating your element by exercising noise, light, and litter discipline at all times. A couple of notes: we are not going to perform any of these tasks in MOP 4. It's unnecessary at this point, but we're not going to do that. So, any questions? All right, moving forward. So, performance steps. Step 1, you're going to exercise noise discipline. So, you're going to accomplish this, you will first avoid all unnecessary vehicular and foot movement, as well as securing items that make noise, such as canteen cup or dog tags that everybody should be wearing. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our tape, right? Spread it off a little bit. And I'm going to tape anything metal together so that way they don't make noise. So I'm going to do it in my group. Right? Bam. Okay, but then on top of that, I'm also going to tape it all together so So that way it doesn't make any type of noise, because you don't want the enemy to notice where you're at because of, you know, a technical difficulty. Just like that. Okay. No noise. Perfect. Okay. Also, your canteen cup. Right, we're just going to tape everything down. It doesn't have to be a lot of tape, y'all. Just enough for it to not move. Too easy, right? Awesome. All right, so note, do not obstruct the moving parts of weapons or vehicles. This is important. Obviously, some things do have to move and they'll make noise, but avoid it if all possible, but don't obstruct it, okay? All right. Avoid all unnecessary talk. So side talk, sidebar talk, just cut it out. Use the radio only when necessary. And if you have to use the radio, keep it on a low volume so that only you can hear. Hopefully you don't have any hearing problems, like myself, because sometimes I can't hear. But keep it at a low volume so that way you're not alerting your position to anybody that you don't want to find you. Use visual techniques to communicate, right? All right, moving forward. The next performance step is exercising light discipline. So the first step to avoid giving up your position because of light, don't smoke, okay? Do not smoke. Your cigarette, the light on the end of your cigarette and the lighter, I don't smoke, so. It will emit a very hint, like a small amount of light, and you can actually pick that up. It's actually pretty bright when you're looking for through NVDs. I don't know if anybody tried it, but it's like really bright, it's crazy. Note, the smoking of cigarettes, cigars, etc. can be seen and smelled by the enemy. Right, so because you have to have your nicotine, try a nicotine patch if you need your nicotine. Conceal flashlights and any other light sources so that the light is filtered, for example, using under a poncho, right? Okay, here's my poncho. Okay, here's my light. Nope, that's the red light. Okay, see how bright it is, right? Okay, so to filter the light, right? Not that bright, okay? Also, what you can do is if you have a red lens, right? You can use red lens. It's not very bright, but it's still enough for you to be able to see what you're doing, like if you're reading a map or moving throughout the area so you can see where you're going. Let's turn this off. Boom. Okay. So also make sure to cover anything that reflects light, so like the side of a vehicle or glass, anything like that. So just make sure you black it out. Oh, this also includes your face. Can anybody guess why? Okay, so if you happen to have, like if you get assigned a set of NVDs, PVS 14s, whatever, you don't have the proper eye cover, on the end of it, on the eyepiece, the green glow can actually emit a light and it can actually show on your face, and so you'll be able to, you're obviously putting a spotlight on you, right? So that's a part of your PMCS when you're conducting for any equipment, but especially those. So if you happen to have an NVD that does not have the eye cup on the eyepiece lenses, what goes on your face, right? Get with your armorer or a 94 Fox, right? And we can hook you up, okay? Because obviously it's very important. Not a lot of people think about it, so just make sure that you're taking that into account. Lastly, you will conceal your vehicles and equipment with available natural camouflage, so twigs, branches, brush, etc., just to make it look like it's not there and make it look like it's part of the train, just like you would a foxhole, right? All right, moving forward. Performance step 3 is exercising litter discipline. To be successful in this step, you must establish a litter collection point. So normally it'd be empty food containers, empty MRE boxes, ammo cans, etc., right? Old camouflage when you're occupying a position. So for this specific training and for the evaluation, you're going to just use the trash can that's provided in the kitchen to my left, your right. So also upon leaving your position, you're going to make sure that all of your trash is picked up, all the litter, taking it with you when you leave. Are there any questions at all on the steps that I had outlined? All right, perfect, no questions. So now I'm gonna have Private Snuffy over here. He's going to quickly run through all of the performance steps as a demonstration, since he was evaluated ahead of training, or ahead of the time, and he has been successfully trained to standard. All right, so now that you've seen Private Snuffy go through the steps, at this time I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to practice on your own, so go ahead and do so now. All right, that was your 5 minutes of practice. Was there any questions, comments, issues, concerns, any at all? Nope, we're ready to go? All right, awesome. All right, so now we're going to actually move forward and do an actual evaluation. For the evaluation, I have to restate the task conditions and standards statement for you again. Again, this is task number 071, Charlie Oscar Mike 0815, practice noise, light, and litter discipline. Conditions: you are a member of a mounted or dismounted element conducting a tactical mission and have been directed to comply with noise, light, and litter discipline. Enemy elements are in your area of operation. Some iterations of this task should be performed in MOT 4. Again, we will not be performing any of these tasks in MOT 4, so you don't need to worry about that at all. Standards: prevent enemy from locating your element by exercising noise, light, and litter discipline at all times. At this time, I will begin to evaluate. So, Specialist Doe, you are up. Because we did not have a 100% success rate in completing the evaluation in its entirety, we have 6 untrained and 3 trained, to include Specialist Doe, myself, and Private Snuffy. So, for retraining and retest dates, date, time, and location in uniform, retraining time will be 09. Date is 14 December 2020. Place is going to be the company motor pool building 8330. The uniform equipment is OCPs, and everything brought today, which is your pen, paper, tape, flashlight with a red lens light if you have it, or the headlamp, the canteen cup, your poncho, and your ID tags. Alright, so now we will move on to the final phases. We're going to conduct another PCC, PCI of our equipment. So get everything out that you brought, which is your pen, paper, headlamp, tape, poncho, dog tags, everything that we checked this morning, so I can mark you off, okay? So just to close out that you had completed the training. Alright, now that we're done with all of that, we're going to conduct our AAR. So everyone has a right to speak, and I want to encourage everybody to say something, participate. Please don't talk over each other, and be respectful of differing viewpoints or any other opinions. Everybody has an opinion, and that's totally fine. This only helps me to make the training better. Alright, so what was supposed to happen today? Alright, what did happen today? Awesome. So what went right and what went wrong? Okay, awesome. So how can I improve the training for the next time? Very good. Thank you so much. I will definitely take those points into consideration for our next training. All right, to summarize, everyone liked the training environment. The demonstrator, Private Snuffy, did a fantastic job of demonstrating. Maybe conduct this training in a more realistic area, like a dark area, etc., or out in the field. That's a very good point as well. Maybe also bring a pair of MEDs if I can get one signed up from the arms room. Next time I will, so I can demonstrate the effect on the face for the green light. Very good. All right, so were there any injuries or damaged equipment? Nope. Awesome, perfect. So lastly, were my controls implemented and effective? So no one got hurt, and I'm assuming that we're going to say yes to that and check the block. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for your participation. So I'm going to just take a few minutes to finish up, make sure all my paperwork is in order, if you don't mind, so please excuse me. Just take a quick 5. All my paperwork is done, wrapped up, ready to go. Again, thank you so much for your participation. I really appreciate y'all coming out here. You are released back to your leadership for any further training and guidance. Sergeant Olson, I wish to close this training site.